guys! Welcome back to our channel. Today we have something special for you. Patrice and I collaborated with Nick, Cass, and Van to bring you Quadratic Formula Easy Review! We know all of you guys are stressed with college and your future and prom. Before all that, you have to make sure you pass all your entrances. And we're here to help you! So without further ado, let's get on with the video! Next, we have some tips and tricks for you to pass your college entrance test. Step number 1. Sleep early. Taking a test might not be physically tiring, but it's extremely mentally tiring. Tip number 2. Don't cram. If the night before the test comes around and you still haven't studied, it's still better not to study at all. Sleep over everything. Tip number 3. Bring lots of friends to the racing. You might not use all of them, but some of your less responsible friends might. And it's always nice to make new friends. Tip number 4. Calm yourself. The worst thing you can do is psych yourself during the test. Just do your best, and if it doesn't work out, then something else will. That's the problem. So, the next part of our video will be the tutorial. Let's go!
The first thing we need to discuss is the square root property.
Basically, this is the square root of x squared is equal to plus minus x. Therefore, if x squared equals 144, then the square root of x squared will be plus minus 12.
This is really easy to remember but can get kind of confusing when variables are involved.
For example, x minus 4 squared equals 16. Taking the square root of both sides would mean that x minus 4 equals plus minus 4. Therefore, x equals 4 plus minus 4. Simplifying both equations would give us x equals 0 or x equals 8.
Identifying the value of x using this method is really easy as long as the given numbers are products of perfect squares. Next up, we have factoring. Before we show you examples, we must first show you the basic rules of factoring.
For a polynomial given by ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are all real numbers, you must find two numbers that have the product equal to c and a sum equal to b. Let's take x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0 as an example. The factors of 12 are 1, 12, 2, 6, and 3, 4. The only pair that would sum up to 7 is the last pair, 3, 4. Therefore, the factored version of the given polynomial is x plus 3 times x plus 4 equals 0.
Factoring may seem easy at first. However, as the number gets larger, the difficulty increases. Thus, leading you to using another method, which is finding x by using the quadratic formula. Do something
Our next topic will be completing the square! This is an easy step-by-step process.
Let's start with the equation x squared plus 6x minus 7 equals 0. Move the loose variable to the other side, giving us x squared plus 6x equals 7. Divide the middle term by 2 and square the answer. This will give you 3 squared equals 9. Add 9 to both sides of the equation. So x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 16. Using the factoring earlier, factor the left side. Afterwards, get the square root of both sides of the equation. This will give you x plus 3 equals plus minus 4. In other words, it will be x equals negative 3 plus 4 and x equals negative 3 minus 4. Simplifying this will give you x equals 1 and x equals negative 7. And that's how to complete a square.
Some important things to remember are the plus and minus signs. You'll always have two solutions.
Another example would be x squared plus 8x minus 9 equals 0. Move the loose variable to the other side, giving you x squared plus 8x equals 9. Divide the middle term by 2. Here, the middle term is 8, so the answer will be 4. Square 4, giving you 16. Add 16 to both sides of the equation. Using the factoring earlier, factor the left side and simplify the right. Get the square root of both sides, giving you x plus 4 equals plus minus 5. Or x equals negative 4 plus 5 and x equals negative 4 minus 5. Simplify both equations. This will give you x equals 1 and x equals negative 9. And this is another example of how to complete the square.
Also, don't forget to consider the sign of the middle term when you divide it by 2.
And oh, don't forget to add the square of that answer to both sides of the equation.
It's very simple, but it's also very hard to remember sometimes. Our next topic is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is given by x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Here's an easier way of remembering it. A negative boy was deciding whether or not he should go to a party. At the party, he met a square boy, but didn't talk to the 4 awesome chicks. It was all over at 2 a.m. For example, x squared minus 3x plus 10 equals 0. To solve for x, we know that a equals 1, b equals negative 3, and c equals 10. We'll input these values into the quadratic formula. Therefore, x equals negative 3 plus minus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 10 all over 2 times 1. This will give us the answers of x equals 5 and x equals 2. Another example would be x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. We know that a equals 1, b equals negative 4, and c equals 4. Once more, we will input this into the quadratic formula. Therefore, x will be equal to negative of the negative 4 plus minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4. This will be all over 2 times 1. When simplifying this equation, we will get the solution x equals 2 and x equals 2.
However, the value of b squared minus 4ac can't be less than 0 as it would yield to an imaginary root, thus giving us non-existent numbers.
Now let's have some additional problems to see how well you understand the lesson. A ball is shot in the air from the edge of a building 50 feet above the ground. Its initial velocity is 20 feet per second. The equation h equals negative 16x squared plus 20x plus 50 can be used to model the height of the ball after x seconds. Approximately how long does it take the ball to hit the ground? We noticed that negative 16x squared, 20x, and 50 are all divisible by negative 2, so we simplified it in this way. Therefore, we got 8x squared minus 10x minus 25 equals 0. Can be solved with the quadratic formula. So we use 10, which is the negative of negative 10, plus minus the square of 10 minus 4 times 8 times negative 25, all over 2 times 8. This will give us the answer of x equals 5 over 2 and x equals negative 5 over 4. Since we are talking about time and there is no negative time, we use the amount 5 over 2. Problem number 2. The height of a bungee jumper in the air b seconds after he jumps can be shown by the function y equals b squared minus b minus 156, where b and y are measured in feet. What is the maximum height that he can reach? We use b squared minus b, and we equate it to 156 so that we can perform completing the square on this. The middle term has a coefficient of 1, so its half is 1/2. We squared this to get 1/4, and we added 1/4 to both sides of the equation. Using the factoring we learned earlier, we factor the left side and simplify the right. So that will be b minus 1/2 times b minus 1/2 equals 156.25. We got the square roots of both of these sides, and we got b minus 1/2 equals plus minus 12.5. The value of b from this will be 13 and negative 12. Since we're talking about distance and there's no negative distance, we use 13. Problem number 3. One side of a rectangle is 4 inches shorter than the 3 times the other side. Find the sides if the area of the rectangle is 319 inches squared. So we'll let x be the shorter side, y be the longer side. We use this equation since the area of the rectangle is given, and we know that the area of a rectangle is side times side. When we multiplied it, we got this quadratic equation, and we know the coefficients, so now we can put them in the quadratic formula. The negative of negative 4 plus minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 3 times 319, all over 2 times 3. This will give us the answer of x equals 11 and x equals negative 29 over 3. Since this is a distance problem, we use the positive number. To find the other side, we use the equation for the longer side, which is 3 times x minus 4 equals y, and y is 29.
So we're down to our last week in high school. But we're happy to have shared all these things that we've learned with you. This is the senior hallway. It will be the last hallway you'll ever have in Zabel. And we hope that your Zabel years will be as fun as ours was. Yay!
Yay!
We hope you guys learned a lot and good luck with
college! See you in college! Hi, Sir Viterbo.
What, you wanna do it?
Your last PE teacher in high school there.